Hello, my friends. Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Monday, December 29th through Friday, January 2nd. Oh my gosh, we're in the new year. That's crazy. I'm so happy I dropped into your vision today, and I ask that you come with an open heart to receive love and the messages that I hear from our great ones. Dearest God, spirit guides, elements, and star beings, thank you for blessing me with abundance today and every day. I'm so grateful to be able to live my heart's desires in accordance to God's wishes for all of us. So there's not a whole lot going on astrology-wise this week. We do have the moon moving into Taurus on Monday and then to Gemini on the 31st on New Year's Eve. The half moon, but nothing super crazy. But I feel like we've had enough. As it being the final week, I definitely feel like we've had enough of the craziness, and it's time for us to kind of reflect, peel back the layers of what really happened to us this year, both collectively and also really individually. These dark months are really about cocooning, right? And I know I have my friends that get cozy. We call it the grandma months. And we get our soup and our books and, light fires and get real quiet and really just spend a lot of time resting. And I feel like a lot of us, especially people who follow me here on this channel, because I feel like we're kind of all in alignment and living a lot of the same experience. I feel like this is a time where, we're going hard all the time, and then all of a sudden this time comes and we feel guilty. We feel guilty for sleeping. We feel guilty for being too tired. And really, it's our body, and intentionally, it's what we are supposed to do. We're supposed to lay lower. This doesn't mean you don't continue, with exercise. Maybe you switch to a different kind. Maybe you switch to more a less aggressive style of movement, something that's more soft. This was a time when I really started getting into yoga before. But I still love, actively making sure my body's healthy. So moving my body maybe at a later time than first thing in the morning. But really being intentional, not only with where we spend our time and what we spend our time doing. And, I think it's of huge value to really, I'm sorry, something happened to my camera here. Or did it? I don't know. I guess we'll see. So really taking the time to focus on moving inward. And again, this is my channel. I'm very raw, so if there's little stumbles that happen, they usually happen for a reason, and I just put them out there because I think perfection is stupid. So that's me. So moving on, I hope you can see what I see. I'm using the transparent tarot here, and we're going to start with Monday. So a card for Monday, please. Good. Ooh. We're starting with the Tower. Now, towers are not meant to scare you. It's basically a lightning strike to just get things out of the way. And you may be clinging to things that are no longer serving you, clinging to friend groups, clinging to activities. Again, when I talked about exercise, it's like, well, everybody's doing CrossFit, so I should be doing CrossFit. No, that's not the only way to keep your body healthy. Also, you don't have to appear a certain way. Like, well, these thighs are, you should be saying, these are my thighs, and my thighs are beautiful regardless of where, what stage of health they are in, And so as you work on building your muscle, work on building your calves, work on building your ankles, like all of those things that support you, it should be a visual, and quit thinking along the lines of, well, I don't have the thighs of a 20-year-old. Well, you're not supposed to have the thighs of a 20-year-old forever. So really quit, let go, pull, the rug's being pulled out. It's time to get real with everything that you're doing, your intentions that you set in the day, the work that you're doing, the relationships that you have, the food that you're putting in your mouth, all of those things. It's very, very precise. And it's time to just cut your losses and keep moving forward. Moving on to Tuesday. we have the Six of Cups. So there might be something coming in from the past, or a person, or maybe a love interest coming in from the past that makes you feel a little nostalgic. To me, you've got big cups here, you've got little cups here. All of these are wins. And maybe it's just a reminder of, doing what's joyful in your heart. I feel like this is looking at your inner child and, deciding, what am I going to do to make her happy today? What am I going to do to make her fly today? What am I going to do to make her dance today? I'm going to give my vessels to her and quit worrying about all the nonsense. Moving on to Wednesday, we have the Queen of Swords. This is the truth-telling card. And it's the motherly wisdom truth of, not mincing words and not really almost seeing the veil has been cut, right? That's what her sword is. It's the cutting of the veil. It's about not, doing what's on your mind, doing what's on your desire, doing what's on your path, and not worrying about what other people are trying to come at you with. It's almost like she's cutting off, again, this is a big break free week. I can just feel it. But again, she's just cutting off the BS that sometimes we allow into our lives as women when we're trying to be supportive of everyone else and not ourselves. We've got the number 3 Empress. Yeah. This is for Thursday, which is beautiful. Something's growing. Something's pulling inside of you. We're seeing a bunch of dead little leaves down here that are starting to fall. The bloom is starting to fall, but there's something still growing out there. So never feel like you are dying as a woman. I don't want you to feel like you are dying. You are always going to come back new. That is the beauty of being a woman. It's why we had our periods for so long, right? I'm still experiencing mine pretty regularly, a little closer together, and it comes at me hard and heavy, like sit your butt down on the couch and don't move and don't feel guilty about it. But this is really about, holding yourself with dignity and grace in these times of where stuff is crashing out around you. There's nothing wrong with handling things with dignity. People are still karmically, if you're considered worrying about karma, people are still going to handle what's their stuff there the way, right? Especially if there's an engagement between the two of you or a quantum entanglement or something like that. I am still at times entangled with old situations, and I'm finally stepping free of those. And I'm not saying the cord is cut today and we're moving on. What I'm saying is it's been cut and there's still parts that come back, and I'm like, no, it doesn't serve me. Okay. So it's, instead of moving into that old space of, well, they should do this and they should get theirs, and how dare they do this to me? How dare they do this to the children, whatever. Remember that you are growing in abundance in so many other ways. Your life is that much better in so many ways without that entanglement happening. Okay. So Friday's energy is the 8 of Swords. So this is almost an entanglement of your mind. You can see the person almost feels like they're trapped. They've got all the swords sitting around them. I envision them almost blindfolded. That's what the typical card is. And it's like they cannot see the future, so they feel stuck. They feel like, logically they can't go anywhere. But we have other elements. We have fire, which gives us energy to evolve. We have earth, which is plain and simple underneath our feet. We have air, which is the way we speak about our situation. You can be in gross abundance like crazy and speak the words of a jerk, seriously. And not in being so scarce and so ungrateful for your situation. So you can speak those words and live in that eight of Swords box and bondage, or you can settle into it and understand that there's energy moving all around this. and it's just trying to get to you, okay? So the more you sit in this funk, the worse it's going to get. It's time to step out of that and break free. You can walk right around these swords. Half of them are tipping over. So that's what the energy is for the week. Let's go ahead and stack these and see what we come up with. Okay, I just had a card jump out, so I am going to pull that one out too. And see what it says. I love how that looks. It creates art, I feel like. We're just going to put this one on top, right in the center. This is the Princess, or the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is telling me there is movement coming into this bondage over here. It's, again, you're just not seeing it. It's kind of being hidden. And underneath it, behind it, is that grace and that dignity of the Queen of Swords that you are. And you do have a gross understanding of the universe. And the whole idea of what you think is what happens, right? So the more, and it's almost like you're stepping out of that box of, well, my parents know best. My parents have told me what's correct. My parents have always, you know, especially me, like I have boomer parents. And so their whole way of thinking is completely different than how I think and live my life. And so it's almost like this Page of Swords is just a little reminder from your little self that you have all the knowledge you need. You do not need to be a part of anyone's algorithm, okay? So continue to work in growing in your own divinity, your own love, your own support, your own, you know, birth of something new and beautiful for your life on a daily basis. I hope this helps for this week, and I'll talk to you soon. Toodaloo.